To be clear, I'll define the most important terms. Organizing. Organizing simply means gathering people in an orderly fashion to achieve a goal. Our goal is the liberation of our people. White supremacy. White supremacy refers to white people who think that they are superior to all other races. If you don't know history, you might actually believe the white lies that whites are superior with atomic bombs and jets, TV, cars, electricity, and all of the rest of the modern world. But when you know the whole truth, you will see that no race is superior to any other race. No sex is superior, no color is superior, and that we are all just part of the human race. We are all just part of one human race. Genocide. Genocide is the intentional attempt to exterminate a people by killing them or by nullifying their existence by having them as virtual slaves to another race or culture, as is the case with our people on our continent. Colonialism. Colonialism is where a foreign people invade and enslave a population for the purpose of depriving them of their ownership of their lands and its wealth, while at the same time enslaving the population to serve the labor needs of the settler, squatter, foreign population. Pretty simple. It's been the history of our people for the last 500 years. History. History is the past actions of a people that are recorded or memorized to provide a people with their proper sense of accomplishments, their heroes, and that pride that will motivate and instill the creativity to continue with that record of achievement. It provides a people with the courage to protect their nation and their people. These last two terms, genocide and colonialism, are the terms that most affect the Nican Tlaca today. We have to remember that genocide has a lot of ways beyond just killing people. It's a way of destroying a people. The way I'm speaking to you in English, the way we're in an environment where we're controlled in our thoughts. That's part of genocide. And colonialism, where everything is controlled in our lives by a foreign group of people. Mexica Movement. I want to give you an introduction to who we are as an organization, to the importance of knowing history, and to the reasons why our people have failed over the last 500 years. We need to understand why we have failed to rid ourselves of the European colonialism and why we are still suffering today under white supremacy. Mexica Movement is an organization that has a long record of educating our people on the true Nican Tlaca identity, the true history as Nican Tlaca, as indigenous people, as the original people, the collective owners of this continent. But we only started our task in 1992. We formally became an organization in 1993. The origins of our organization came out of what was known as the Chicano movement. The Chicano movement period was in the 1960s. The Chicano movement is dead. No matter what people tell you, it has been dead for 40 years. But the core ideas of the Chicano movement helped us found the first awakenings of our Nican Tlaca heritage. We kept the idea of resistance to assimilation and genocide. We removed the mestizo pride component. We removed the limits of the Spaniard boundaries, which was referring to the Southwest. We have now expanded the knowledge base to the 6,000 years of civilization that we've had on this continent, to the 50,000 years that we have been here on this continent. And we've expanded it to the 500 years of crimes of Europeans. that knowledge base. I want to give you an overall history of our 500 years of mostly failure at confronting white supremacy, in order to understand how confronting and defeating white supremacy has been so difficult. But before all of this, I want to begin on a personal note. Since I am older than all or most of you in this room, I want to share with you my experiences in success and failure, the success and failure of our people over the last 50 years. I began my study of our people's history at the age of 12, when curiosity had me with an itch that needed scratching. I needed to know who my people were. I could not go on without knowing. I felt that I was going to die if I didn't know who my people were and what had happened to us. How did we end up in such disgrace, such poverty, and such ignorance? Even at 12, I knew there was something wrong in how our history was being told to us. So I began by going to libraries and reading books and magazines, old National Geographics, anything that was about our people. Luckily, my father was very supportive in all of this over the years. My father had been taking us to Mexico every year since I can remember. I have a picture of me at 3 years old at El Castillo in Chapultepec. Me dressed up as a charro in San Juan de los Lagos. At Teotihuacan when I was 15. I looked forward every year to traveling. Later, when I turned 18, I began my solo travel and traveled to the sacred sites of our ancestors. And over the next 42 years after that first solo time, it seemed that I have been traveling all my life in search of knowledge. I have had adventures in travel and learning, for which I am most grateful to our Creator. Travel and knowledge have been the magic in my life. They have made life worth living. My life has been one of learning and sharing what I learn. I have seen beautiful things for which I am most grateful, and ugly things that I wish I had never experienced. But those experiences, the good and the bad, have been the sum total of my life. What has brought me to be in the mind of liberation that I have today, the Nican Tlaca mind of the Mexica Movement. My family is mostly from Coahuila and Texas. I am a descendant of Purépecha on my mother's side, and of the Texas and Coahuilteco tribes on my father's side, from both sides of the Rio Grande, Rio Bravo. When I was a kid, I got used to seeing signs in Texas that read, "No Negroes or Mexicans allowed." Most of you have never seen those signs, but some of you have maybe felt those signs. I saw the hate of white people for our people walking in the towns of Texas. A hate for our people for just existing, for walking down the street. Anglo-Saxon hate. Over the years, I got to see the Latin, European hate for our people. The hate of the white supremacist criollos, the Spaniards, the Cubans, the white supremacists who are Latinos, the Hispanics, the real Latinos, the real Hispanics.